up and welcome to my channel. My name's Rowan. I'll be doing a channeled message today from Spirit. This is a message going out to everyone in my collective, which is usually like druids, lightworkers, gray witches, those who work with animals, grid workers, connected with the earth. We're going to be getting some messages for those of you who have been experiencing a lot of setbacks. I usually focus on this collective here right now because there's so many of us who have been blocked from doing what we need to do. And I really like to speak to those people so that you can reconnect with nature, because whenever people get you in fight or flight, it's super hard to connect to the earth and get yourself back in balance. Balance is the key here. Not love and light positivity only, balance, okay? So let's get into it. Something that Spirit has been showing me for literally the last 2 months is about Princess Diana and the royal family. I know, I felt the collective cringe. I feel it too. And that's why I was kind of shocked that Spirit wanted me to get so far into researching it, because I never gave a shit about the royals. I think they're so out of touch with reality. But I realized that Princess Diana is like an archetype or an example of lightworkers being harvested and being like almost like parasitized by those in power who are negative, who really want to exploit somebody for their light in order to make themselves look better or bring themselves into like the public opinion. That's essentially what they did with her. Now, for those of you who are like me, who were like kind of young whenever Princess Diana was like a big deal, basically she was the only royal that didn't suck ass. All of the royals were really out of touch with like common people, and she was the first one to treat humanity like humanity, basically. Like, she would go and work with the poor, she worked with people with AIDS and with leprosy, and she was one of the first people that set the precedent publicly that you should treat people with AIDS like normal people, which sounds crazy, but I mean, that was a big deal at the time. Now, the reason any of this is relevant to now is because there's a huge group of you in this collective, Spirit's been telling me, that have been in a similar situation where you were lied to or coerced at a young age because there was either a group, a family structure, some kind of structure of people that really wanted to use your light to make themselves look better. Now, for a lot of you, this has actually come across as a series of extremely negative and traumatizing work events, like work organizations just taking you in, putting you on the front lines. You made them look good, and then they screw you over. This has happened with family for a lot of you as well. You might have been the first in your family to go out and get certain accolades. You might have been the first to go to college. You might have been the first to have a child that does great things, or been the first to not live in toxicity even. You know, something like that, where you like did something that made everyone else look really good. But in the background, these people were scummy. And, you know, really, I feel like in putting you in front of them and them standing behind your shine in that shadow behind you, and then claiming that that shine was theirs, these people have dug a hole for themselves, Spirit is saying. These people have really like stolen a lot from you and coerced you at a young age, or like trained you. I'm hearing like social media training, and what that means to me isn't necessarily that this has anything to do with actual social media or actual celebrity status. It might for some of you, but I think for most of you it's more so like learning to say the right things at a young age, learning to comfort others at a young age and manage their emotions. These are the parentified children, 100%. And that scars you after a long time, because you're highly masking, you're highly empathetic to others at the detriment of yourself. And for all of you, I'm seeing that like this collective is super in touch with animals. I mean, if you're in my collective, you are, because that's what the core of my belief system is. You know, I changed my name to Elderbeingsintuition because I believe that animals are older souls than humans, because they come in without an ego and because they choose to help balance the earth. And I see a bunny on the side of the road right as I'm doing this. So one of the biggest things that Spirit wants to talk about today is how being in these parentified roles, or these roles where you're taking care of others and constantly in management or in the front publicity, so to speak, of the group that you are representing. This has created a lot of like very negative patterns for you around fear and anxiety, because in masking so highly around the rest of the world, you either didn't have room to explore your actual identity and representation to the world, or you have come to highly criticize every single thing, not only about yourself, but about others as well. And this could have created like a lot of stop-start energy for you. Because whenever you have this inner critic from the people around you, or from your training, essentially, I almost want to say brainwashing for some of you, but that's another video. This inner critic creates so much hesitation and so much limitation energetically. So whenever those of you who are into manifestation or can speak things into reality go to do so, this start-stop energy happens because your true higher self is pushing you forward, and then as soon as you set that energy into motion and release it to the universe, 50,000 little voices come in. Hey, what about this? What about that? What if this doesn't work? And that kind of stuff just creates so much, I'm hearing delusion, creates so much friction, both in yourself and the people around you, because often Spirit will use the people around you to bring in those manifestations, even karmics. I mean, I think this group is no stranger to interacting with karmics, or you've had to pretty much your whole life. For some of you, you may still be surrounded entirely by karmics, and there's no judgment here on that. That's just the way of things sometimes. That's in a season of your life that you're moving out of. I'm seeing like fall for a lot of you, so you're like almost done, right? Some of you are already done, but I'm feeling that fall energy for a big group. But what happens is, like, even whenever these people aren't, necessarily great for you, Spirit will use them to kind of sneak in good things for you. That person might have the exact kind of food that you just kind of were craving that week, and they just happen to give it to you. Or, they might give you a coupon for something you need, or just have, some kind of thing will come up. They'll take you to some event that you didn't know you needed that puts you in alignment better. So whenever, this inner critic comes up, all of that friction and chaos and anxiety is felt by the people around you, and it pushes them away. It creates fractures in your auric field. And people can sense that, even if they are not spiritual, even if they don't sense auras in any other way. Everybody has the ability to work with energy and sense energy, and on some level everyone does. It's just everyone uses a different term for it, right? Everybody knows what bad vibes feel like. And unfortunately, working with that inner critic is working with the bad vibes from yourself. It sucks. I'm no stranger to this by any means. Now, this can also create a lot of weaponizing this against yourself in the habits that you form. They're bringing to mind Princess Diana's struggle with bulimia, or body image issues. It can be lots of different things. Self-harm for some of you. I can't say that word. Unaliving ideation. I hate using all these little words. I apologize, but I don't want to get banned on YouTube. All of these different kind of ways to harm yourself. Some of you may have also had issues with addiction, or alcoholism as well. And Spirit is calling you to have compassion for yourself, and really try to let go of the idea that not only are you struggling with these things, but it is also your fault that you're struggling. There is a real call right now for all of you in this collective to begin switching the blame to the people it started with. And the people it started with are those that trained you to stay in this energy, right? To be in this horribly critical energy. I'm also hearing the word handlers, okay? So some of you might have made a lot of progress in working through this, either in therapy, in your own self-help journey, meditation, whatever it is for you. I feel like a lot of you already have some very powerful tools to manage your anxieties, your inner critic, and like that little voice that really captures the people who have harmed you, okay? However, after making all of this progress, I feel like you were on the straight and narrow for a couple years even for some of you, and then some kind of thing happened out of nowhere that seemed like an incredible opportunity, but turned out to just completely throw your life 180 in the wrong direction. Please do not weaponize this against yourself. This does not mean that you failed. This means that you were rerouted by something that you did not deserve this, but it's what happened. And therefore, you have to take responsibility for righting yourself now. And Spirit is saying, like, don't blame yourself for this. Blame the handler. Blame the energies that keep pulling you back to this. Because the more that you weaponize your own judgment at yourself, the slower your turnaround is going to go. You are, however, destined for a turnaround, or you wouldn't be hearing this message. My messages are always guided to the people who need them at the time they need them. So even, if you don't see this anywhere near the time that I post it, you're going to see it when you need it. You're going to see it when it's time. Really need to let this stuff go, okay? And just know, like, I'm seeing you guys as a teenager, as early 20s, being in some kind of situation where all of these people are telling you how to be, and it's like all of their voices are crowding out your own inner voice. This has changed the way that you dress, the way that you wear your hair, the way that you wear your makeup if you wear makeup. I mean, every single thing about you would have been different if these people hadn't come in and told you what was essential. I'm hearing essential for you to provide for them. Now, whenever these groups stepped out from the shadow behind you and tried to claim your light, I'm seeing them pushing you into the bushes. I mean, it's like they totally threw you off the road that you were on, or you thought you were on. And know that this was predestined. This was something that, not that Spirit wanted you to experience, but that these people had planned for you when you acquired your position. So for some of you, you were born into a family where you were going to be scapegoated because of the way these people are. You were hired into this company to provide the exact energy that you provided, and they knew they were going to throw you away at a certain achievement level, okay? And that is not to say that you deserve that, but that is to say that you were around some very deceptive people, and that it is time to let this go. Spirit's also showing me ice cream, like soft serve, and they're showing me melting. I feel like there is a part of you that it's almost like you got pied in the face, and this stuff is starting to like melt off of you now. And it's revealing the person underneath. And this feels very vulnerable, very frightening for a lot of you. So if you've had a spike in your anxiety because of all the shit that you're realizing about the people around you, the situations around you, and the spite that you experienced from others just because of your own success and being yourself, know that that's okay. That's a normal reaction to these abnormal events and situations that people put you in. A lot of you have experienced things that were set up from the beginning to make it look like you were crazy. And I'm here to tell you, like, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychiatrist, and I'm not a replacement for those things. So obviously take care of yourselves if you're truly questioning. But what I'm hearing from Spirit is that, like, the situations you experienced were set up to make you feel this way, to belittle you and keep you quiet. For those of you that this involves a company, or, I'm hearing like a political structure. I don't know what that's about. Whatever this is, it's like they wanted you to be happy with the quiet side office in the basement after they threw you aside. They wanted you to shut up and accept whatever you dealt with. They wanted you to shut up and accept that they were taking all the credit for all the things that you achieved and all of the triumphs that you created in this company or this organization. And they were actually surprised and offended when you spoke up for yourself, or when you left, or whatever it was for you. Because I'm hearing for a lot of you, you were just like, fuck it, and you left. You didn't even say anything. And, I'm hearing it would have fallen on deaf ears anyway. So for those of you who question if you should have said something, it doesn't matter. It's done and over, null and void, I'm hearing. I feel like the soul contract has been shredded. completely taken apart and aside. Something has been dismantled since you left because they could not uphold the amount of energy and light and progress that you brought to whatever this was. These people are crumbling under the weight of the triumph that you created for them. They are not capable of doing the things that you did, and they are now realizing that. And that's a scary thing for a lot of these people. I mean, the anxiety that you are feeling not only is a natural reaction to how people have just like completely fucked you in certain ways, but it's also you picking up on some of the people from these organizations that are freaking the fuck out now because they can't do what you did. They know that they are not you. They don't have your charisma. They don't have your pizzazz, and they don't have your charm, essentially. For some of you, this is a very physical thing as well. Like, some of you have a lot of Venus placements, if you're into astrology, or you have like some kind of like spiritual gift of the way you look being very beautiful and inviting to other people, or disarming other people right away. So if this is a sales related thing or something like this that requires like people to gain trust, these people can't do that. Like, they're slimy and people feel that from them, and it's like not working for them to try and be like you. They can't weaponize that energy because that is yours. Okay, so Spirit's also showing me barbecue sauce. I don't know what this food stuff is. It might be for somebody, but I feel like the barbecue sauce is signifying that some of these people are at like gatherings together. You know, they might be at like a cookout together or something. And this isn't like a company related thing. This is like a private gathering is what I'm feeling. And they're talking about you. And they're realizing that they fucking shot themselves in the foot. And it's like nobody wants to say it, but they all know it. It's like they're trying to trash your name, but they can't even say anything bad about you at this point. Because every time they do, something happens. So how embarrassing for these people. Now I'm seeing a lot of like clearance and sales signs. So for those of you who worked in a sales environment, or some kind of business environment, some of these people have to sell off all the shit that they took from you, which is insane. Yeah, some of these people had to sell off or clearance all the things that you were selling before because they can't make it work now. Some of them have debts to pay off. I'm hearing loan sharks. Yeah, some of these people are taking out loans to keep the lights on because of the shit that they did to you, and because they couldn't just accept that you were better than them at certain things. And I'm not even saying that you guys were like the best entirely in the whole place, but it's like these people are so insecure and jealous and immature that even the smallest amount of praise given towards you or recognition of your excellence was enough that was a threat to them. And some of these people are in positions of power, which is crazy, and they just want to keep replacing the talent. So for a lot of you, you're going to find out, if you look into this, that you weren't even the first person they did this to, and that there's been a line and a succession of people that have come in and tried to help this organization, this group, whatever it is, that made the cut, but also didn't make the cut. Because the thing is, nobody can fucking make the cut whenever you're set up to fail. I can relate to some of this, but this was a long time ago. I actually had a job that I was in for about, 2 years or something, and it robbed me of my health, it robbed me of my peace. It was so stressful. I was working well over 60 hours a week. I mean, I worked my ass off, and I was working nights. And the company I worked for, it was high stress, all kinds of stuff. And whenever I went to my boss and was talking to him about my progress, he literally told me after the first year there, I asked him what I could do better. And he said, to be honest, you're like one of our most valued employees. And the thing is, I didn't expect you to be able to do this job at all. I threw you in to see if you could, which is so crazy. And I feel like that kind of energy for you guys, where you know, these people might have put you in a very specialized job that you never had any previous training at, and just was like sink or swim, and you swam better, harder, and faster than everybody around you, and they just let you work to death, just to keep everyone else afloat. You might have seen, if this is job related, you may have seen people be promoted above you, whose jobs you were doing, whose mistakes you were fixing. This is the type of energy. I'm hearing editing for somebody here. If there's somebody that has a proofreading, editor, publishing type job here, I'm hearing somebody was working for someone who couldn't even write or read properly, and they were in some kind of position that like required a ton of that kind of skill set, and it's like you were doing all of the work for this person. That's crazy. What the fuck? That shit is wild. But that is the level of, like, not only inefficiency, but just ineptitude that you were dealing with here. I mean, no matter what it was for you guys, it's like you were holding all this together. You were the glue holding this shit shingle to the roof of this piece of crap house. And now it's, like, melted off. You know, there's nothing keeping the rain from coming in now. Now, for those of you who this wasn't a business situation and this was more of a family type of situation, you know, apply it as it resonates, but it is a lot of the same energies here. I mean, I'm seeing so much creative problem solving for people who don't give a fuck and continually create more problems. Like, this is the definition of making mistakes that just hold yourself back. This is the definition of insanity, where these people keep making the same choices to the same result and being unhappy with it. And I'm seeing somebody like pulling a thread. What's that Weezer song about, like the sweater song? I'm hearing that right now. It's just this idea that you could keep pulling this thread forever, and you know, it's like they're still knitting a sweater on the other end of it. Like, you're just trying to get through this bullshit sweater, and it's very frustrating energy at the end of the day, you know? I'm also hearing, this is really specific, I almost said this out loud, and I'm not even sure why, but I was hearing bottom of the deck. So if any of you are readers, because quite a few of you read your own cards, or even have your own, like, reading kind of group like I do, reading business, check your bottom of the deck that calls out to you, because there's going to be a special meaning there. That's just for some of you. Now, I'm also seeing giraffes here, and something came up earlier for me about giraffes fighting, and I don't know if you've ever seen that, but it is the most awkward display ever, because they have such long necks and they just smash their necks together. It's so awkward, and by the time they're done, you're like, how do they know who won? That was a mess. And it's kind of like that energy. Like, there's a lot of people in this family group who are just swinging their necks at each other over and over and over again, and it's like, okay, why are we doing this anymore? Now everybody's neck hurts. Oh my goodness. And Spirit's playing off of that. I'm hearing like that big fat Greek wedding reference, where somebody was like, the man is the head of the household, but the woman is the neck. Like, she's controlling where we're going, where we're looking, what we're paying attention to. That's how you are for this family, for this group, or how you were, because a lot of you are already done with this. Now, I'm seeing a stack of papers, possibly receipts. I'm hearing invoice, okay? No matter how you're connected to this group, there's money involved. There's hella money involved here. And I'm also seeing Mr. Yuck stickers. Okay, so for a lot of you, I'm hearing their shit stinks, and they don't want you to know. For a lot of you, you already know. They don't want you to talk about it. So, you know, these people are slimy and not trustworthy, and people know, but you have the proof. You got the receipts. You saw what they were doing, and you saw what they were hiding. Yeah, they're waiting for you to strike. That's wild. I just saw something outside that says striker. Yeah, they're almost like, they're showing me one of those, I don't know what to call them, but it looks like a bobblehead bird that dips its beak in the water over and over and over again. They're waiting for you to come back down into the water. So for a lot of you here, you might be being baited into a response that you have taken before. Don't mind my car. You might be being set up in a way. They want you to respond in a specific way. They're trying to shut you up or kick you out of a situation, or prove that what you're saying doesn't have value, or that you're untrustworthy. I'm seeing a mirror as well. So if something comes up with one of these people and you still interact with them, even if you sense it in the energy, right? Just be aware that any actions that you've taken previously with these people, it's going to be required from spirit that you make a different choice right now, because people have caught on to your patterns and are trying to catch up to you, I'm hearing. They're trying to catch up to what you know, how much you know, and what you're willing to spill. For some of you, I'm hearing, what's your price? Okay? And a lot of you, like, you can't be bought. Like, for some of you, it doesn't really matter in that regard, because this is business related. So, like, take that, get that bag if you can, right? But for a lot of you, like, there might even be people willing to, like, get you to sell out something to this degree so that you stop talking. And it feels immoral to me. It feels nasty. Okay, so if it feels nasty, make a different choice. Because even if somebody tries to buy you by offering you something that you know in your heart is wrong, it is not going to be worth whatever they give you. I don't care if it's $1 million. Like, something about that energy is going to catch up to you, and it is going to make it completely not worth it for that. So it depends on your situation. It's going to be different for all of you, but you have to follow your instincts, follow your gut on this, and recognize what the patterns were. Break away from that pattern, yo. Alright, I'm seeing Oscar the Grouch, like a trash can situation here. And I'm seeing the worm. Is his name Slimy? The inchworm? Oh my god. Okay, Spirit is saying that you're slimy right now. You're the little inchworm. And it's like you were putting up with this grouchy asshole. Oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting it to be that loud. Sorry guys, I need air. It'll calm down in a second here. But it's like you were dealing with this grouchy asshole for the longest time and just putting up with this shit. And then, you know, if y'all watched Sesame Street back in the day, the little inchworm had an entire, like, section of the show or something where he eventually, like, went to space. And he was just doing stuff in space. I don't remember. But that's how you are. It's like you've completely left the planet. You're not on the same fucking planet as these grouches anymore. And, like, it's over. It's totally over. And it's ironic because they're almost showing me, like, would you love me if I was a worm? Like, that's what I'm hearing. And it's, like, ironic because this person saw you as such this, like, such a valueless person while also, like, using you for your value. It's really weird. They had this, like, very strange backwards view of you. Because, like, on a personal level, on a human level, they didn't respect you at all. But they just wanted to, like, benefit off of you. And now they're like, oh my god, the person I felt like was a worm or treated like a worm is, like, in space. Like, they're achieving all this shit in a totally different realm than me. And I'm stuck here in my fucking trash can because I suck. Because I don't talk to people. I'm hearing that whoever this grouch person is for you, and it'll pop into your head, you know who you're talking about, or who I'm talking about. This person, like, isn't social except for work. It's honestly creepy. Like, they don't have people that they interact with in a normal way. They have people they gossip with, they have people they drink with for a lot of them, and they have people that they exploit. But they don't have people that they respect. This is, like, true narcissist shit here. Now they're showing me a fern, like a fiddle leaf fern before it, like, unfurls, right? And Spirit is saying, like, you're about to enter your unfurling era, right? And it's going to take a little bit of time, but once it happens, you don't go back. Ferns don't recurl up. They stay like that. And they come back every year. okay? I'm also seeing stars. For some of you, I'm seeing Leo, actually, like constellation Leo. So for those of you who have like strong Leo placements, I guess this next part of the message is for you. There's something here about like a sea dragon or like a sea serpent. What is going on with the sea serpent, please, Spirit? 1 second. Okay, for some of you, there's like another energy around this Oscar the Grouch character, whoever it was you were dealing with, and they are a practitioner in some way. Either a practitioner or like they have some kind of like knowledge of occult stuff in some way. And they work with a water spirit that's very negative, and it's like they're trying to capsize you because they keep showing me like a water dragon. So if you've been seeing something about like serpents or sea serpents, specifically like water related, okay, there's something to that for you. And I'm also seeing a deer as I'm driving here. I just saw a deer in velvet. So Spirit is assuring you through this message that you are protected and that you are going to have your glow up. Like, there's something that needs to be cleared from your energy, though, because this person, here, this bitch still has access. They are not playing about you, my God. This person might have access to, like, your social media or something. I feel like you know this person. So if this part of the message is for you, you might want to go through your friends list on your socials, if you're even on socials, right? And, like, block whoever this person is. I feel like that's specific for somebody here, so if that's not for you, don't worry about it. Okay, that's what I have for you guys. I'm sending you lots of love. I hope this assists who it was meant to. If you would like to book with me for a personal reading, I'm available only through my website, Elderbeingsintuition.com. You can't book with me through any of my socials because I unfortunately have a lot of scammers. If somebody reaches out to you and like offers a reading or says you have a curse or some bullshit, I wouldn't do that. I don't offer readings that way. I expect you to come to me because Spirit guides you to me, if that's right for you, okay? So that's what I have for you guys. You can also check out my Patreon, and I love you.